Polish President Lech Kaczynski and his wife Maria have been killed after their plane crashed on approach to Smolensk airport in western Russia. Russian news agencies reported at least 87 people died in the crash near Smolensk airport in western Russia, citing the Russian Emergencies Ministry. They reported 132 people were aboard the Tupolev Tu-154. The governor of the Smolensk region, where the crash took place about 11 a.m., said no one survived. The Polish presidential plane did not make it to the runway while landing. Tentative findings indicate that it hit the treetops and fell apart, Sergei Anufriyev said on state news channel Russia 24. Nobody has survived the disaster. The crash occurred about 1.5 kilometers from Smolensk airport in foggy conditions. According to reports, the pilot accelerated as the plane came into land and at that point lost contact with air traffic control. A fire then broke out. The president and his wife were on their way to attend a World War II memorial service. A Polish government official said the head of the Polish army and the head of the presidential administration were also on board the plane, along with the president's wife and families of other senior officials. The Army Chief of Staff, General Franciszek Jager, National Bank President Sławomir Skrzypek and Deputy Foreign Minister Andrzej Kremer were on the passenger list. The plane caught fire after the crash. Teams began attempting to pull out passengers from the badly damaged airplane, said a Polish Foreign Ministry spokesman in Warsaw. The Polish government will hold an extraordinary meeting later today. Poland's Foreign Ministry spokesman, Piotr Paskowski, said there were 89 people on the passenger list, but one person had not shown up. We still cannot fully understand the scope of this tragedy and what it means for us in the future. Nothing like this has ever happened in Poland, Paskowski said. We can assume with great certainty that all persons on board have been killed. Prime Minister Gordon Brown paid tribute to Kaczynski while on the campaign trail in his home constituency of Kirkcaldy. He said, I think the whole world will be saddened and in sorrow as a result of this tragic plane crash. I think we know the difficulties Poland has gone through and the sacrifices President Kaczynski has made. The president and his wife were on their way to a memorial service for the victims of the Katyn massacre which, in 1940, saw thousands of Polish prisoners of war murdered, primarily military officers, intellectuals, policemen, and other public servants by the Soviet NKVD. In Warsaw, Prime Minister Donald Tusk called an extraordinary meeting of his cabinet. Kaczynski, 60, became president in December 2005 after defeating Tusk in that year's presidential vote. The nationalist conservative was the twin brother of Poland's opposition leader, former Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczynski. Kaczynski had said he would seek a second term in presidential elections this fall. He was expected to face an uphill struggle against Parliament Speaker Bronisław Komorowski, the candidate of Tusk's governing Civic Platform party. According to the constitution, Komorowski would take over presidential duties. Kaczynski's wife, Maria, was an economist. They had a daughter, Marta, and two granddaughters.